Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat
Let's begin with a few minutes of meditation together. Just allow the eyes to gently close and allow the awareness to shift gently to the breath. It's not a forced, hard attention, but rather an awareness that merges with the breath as it flows in and flows out. draw the awareness to your breath, not in the rib cage and the lung area and the upper chest, but rather draw the awareness to your breath low in your abdomen. Bring it to a place a couple of inches below your belly button, about 2 inches below the navel, a place called the Swadhisthana chakra. Bring the awareness to the breath there. And allow yourself to inhale from that energy center. And exhale back to that energy center. For a few moments, just allow the awareness to be rooted in the breath at that center. From the next inhalation, allow yourself, as you inhale from the Swadhisthana chakra, rather than inhaling outward. So it's not about a horizontal movement of the abdomen out. Instead, allow the breath to rise through the being. So inhaling from the Swadhisthana chakra, but the breath rises and rises through the being, through the solar plexus, through the rib cage and lungs, through the throat, up to the Agya chakra, your third eye center, just between the eyebrows. And then we exhale back down to the Swadhisthana chakra. So on the inhalations, allow the breath to rise and rise as high as it can. Don't force it or squeeze it. If you can't get it all the way to your third eye on one smooth, unbroken breath, don't worry. Just take it as high as you can and then let it go back. So it's rising higher and higher on each inhalation. And dropping deeper and deeper down into the core of the self on each exhalation. If thoughts come, sensations come, don't allow yourself to get distracted. Just keep bringing the awareness back to the breath. rising higher and higher. The consciousness carried on the breath, higher and higher up to our third eye center, to that chakra, that energy center of the power of seeing truth instead of falsehood. Rising higher and higher. And sinking deeper and deeper into the core of the self on each exhalation. Gently bring the palms together at chest level. Rub the palms of the hands gently against each other. And press those palms into the closed eyes. Gently lower the palms, open your eyes. Welcome to Satsang. We'll start as always with a question that's come in advance and then open it up to any questions that anyone here has. How did you find your peace? And how can I find mine? So first of all, peace isn't something like your keys or your sunglasses that you lose once and then you find them and then you have them. And assuming that you don't make the same mistake again, you don't lose them again. Peace is something that we actually have to keep choosing, keep working at. It's not like, oh God, I couldn't find the keys, searched everywhere, finally I found them, thank God, now I have them. Problem solved. Peace is something we find, and in that finding, we understand, okay, what did I have to do to find it? What was different about today than yesterday or the day before? But we have to keep walking that path every day. Keep making that choice every day. And so, since the question is personal, how did you find your peace? And then how can I find mine? The you, of course, being me, and then the I being the questioner. For me, it was given to me, really, by grace, in the first experience, standing on the banks of Ganga in an extraordinary moment. 23 years ago, when I came to India with a backpack. I hadn't done anything to deserve it. I didn't even know I was looking for it. By grace, it was given to me. And the important piece of this, just for a moment, is the reason I emphasize the fact that I hadn't done anything to deserve it, that I wasn't searching for it, is because a lot of times we think, oh, in order to have grace, I have to be better. I have to not hit that snooze button and make sure I'm going to get up and meditate. I have to be up before 4 a.m. every day. I have to do all my volunteer work. I have to, do this and do that. And those are all great things to do. They keep you very focused on a spiritual path. But they're not what bring grace. And that's an important distinction. They're what ground us on our path. They're what keep cleaning our windshields, our windows of the dust. But it's not what brings grace. Grace doesn't care. Grace doesn't care you got up to meditate or you slept through the snooze button. Grace isn't up there saying you're worthy, you're not worthy, you're good, you're not good. Grace is there for all of us. All grace cares about is that you're open. Grace literally is simply looking for a place into which to flow. And that's an important distinction because, if you want to stay in peace, you want to stay spiritually grounded, you want to keep growing spiritually, evolving, awakening, you've got to do the meditation. You've got to do the sadhana. You've got to do the seva. You've got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, doing the work. But that's not the power of grace. The power of grace is there regardless of what you do. For grace, you literally just have to open yourself. Grace is waiting for you. And so for me, that peace was given to me by grace long before I had a practice. Because, as I said, grace doesn't discriminate. So my lack of deserving it, my lack of sadhana, my lack of knowing anything. There's a beautiful, beautiful line in the prayers we chant every morning that the English of it basically says, I don't have anything. I don't do any sadhana, I don't do any japa, I don't meditate, I don't have any wisdom, I don't give any donations, I don't do anything. I have nothing. And still grace is there. That's why it's grace. Right? I mean, if it was give something, get something, well, then it's not grace. Power of grace is, even you've done nothing, you deserve nothing. You sleep through your meditation time every day. Grace is still there. Whatever time you wake up, grace is there. So that's the power of grace. So that grace flowed into me for no reason other than grace found a crack that was open and large enough into which it flowed. And that's all that grace wants, is for you to be open enough for grace to flow. And then you keep choosing it. And so I found peace because grace gave it to me. But that was 23 years ago. Now, grace, of course, is still there. But as you move through the world, you have to keep choosing that peace. You have to keep choosing to stay open to grace. You have to keep choosing love and joy. And so finding my peace and then continuing to find it, keeping it, actually were two different things. Grace showed me what was possible. Grace showed me the experience of a life that was open, that was connected, that was full, that was whole, that was in light, that was in love, that was peace, that was light, that was love. But that's a choice I have to keep making every hour of every day. You live in a world. Pujya Swamiji always says that, the reason that traditionally so many of the young sadhus are sent into the jungles and the forest like he was to live with the snakes and the scorpions is because life is full of snakes and scorpions. And so you learn how to deal with the actual snakes and scorpions in the jungle, so that when you come out of the jungle and you're dealing with the snakes and the scorpions in your day-to-day life, not the ones necessarily, slithering on the ground, could be the one in the office next to you. Could be the guy down the block. Could be the person sitting hundreds of miles away but trying to harm you for no reason other than just their own jealousy or their own ego or their own ignorance, whatever it may be. But you develop that awareness, that training. And so every minute of every day, literally, you have to choose. Experiences happen, things happen in life, every minute of every day, in which we have an opportunity to be angry. You have an opportunity to be hurt. How dare you? Who the hell do you think you are? Don't you know who I am? That was mean. That was obnoxious. That was rude. That wasn't loving. That was hurtful. That was wrong. We have an opportunity every minute. If you're out in the world, always to be able to see. This one's doing that. This one's doing this. This one's doing that. She did that. He did that. Sometimes it's directly to us. Sometimes it's just things that we see. Either way. But you don't have to look very far. Of course, in psychology we say that the only things that bother us in other people are the things in our own selves. So that which bothers you in other people is a very good indicator of the work you need to do inside. So, do you say that, somebody's very materialistic? Well, it means, all right, maybe you've got to work on your own materialism. Do you say someone's very competitive? Interesting. Maybe it means you need to work on some suppressed competitive instincts. So that's looking at it psychologically, but just from the spiritual choice of peace, I have an opportunity all the time to criticize others, to be negative about others. But the problem with that is it pulls me out of peace. You cannot simultaneously be living in peace and pointing fingers at other people. You cannot simultaneously be living in peace and blaming anyone else, judging other people. Just doesn't work. They cannot coexist. Like light and darkness cannot coexist. And so it's a choice. Even if someone is doing something wrong directly to me. Now, it doesn't mean that you become a doormat. It doesn't mean that you literally sit here and let people beat you up just because you're choosing peace. Well, you have to choose peace for yourself also, which means not getting beat up. But in that strength, in that courage, in that holding of the self, you don't lose the self. So for example, if someone is doing something directly to you, directly to hurt you, emotionally, physically, career-wise, however it may be, because people try to hurt us in so many different ways. Absolutely, you protect yourself, but you don't let the mind lose its peace. So the mind doesn't get caught up in, why me? Why do these things always happen to me? This isn't fair. This isn't right. I'm a good person. I do everything nice. Why is everyone against me? That steals your peace. You also don't let the mind get into the, that person is the cause of my problems. If that person weren't so stupid, if that person weren't so arrogant, if that person weren't so much in their ego, if that person weren't so competitive, then everything would be okay. Well, no, it wouldn't, because you'd still have your mind. And if your mind wasn't worried about that one person, it would be worried about something else. The mind is the problem. So every minute you have a choice to choose peace. And so when you ask me, how did I find my peace and keep it? By literally consciously choosing peace. There's a lot I could get upset about every day. Do enough work in the world? Do enough work in India? There's a lot of things that happen. Things that are supposed to happen that don't happen. Things that weren't supposed to happen that do happen. All sorts of things. This is what life is about. But the choice is, do I lose my peace over it? No. Do you do your best to make things right? Yes. Do you have to lose your peace in order to make things right? No. And in fact, if you lose your peace, you can never make things right. That's the illusion. Is somehow by me getting angry, me getting upset, me getting hurt, me being judgmental, me being accusatory, whatever it may be, that somehow that's going to remedy a situation. All it does is throw my peace in the garbage along with whatever the problem that was already happening is. Haven't solved the problem, and now I've thrown my peace away. I've lost the only opportunity that I actually had to solve the problem. Because only when we are in peace can we bring peace to others. Pujya Swamiji has a beautiful, beautiful saying. He says, when you are in peace, you share peace, you spread peace, you manifest peace. But when you are in pieces, right? You manifest pieces, you spread pieces, you share pieces. And so even if I didn't create the pieces, even if this is a situation and it's happening and now I'm in it, in the family, in the workplace, in the community, whatever it may be. I didn't create it, but now I'm here. Well, I have two choices. Either I can stand there and blame and criticize, condemn others, judge others, feel upset inside. Why am I always the one who gets thrown into the pieces? That's not fair. I meditated today. Why did the universe throw me in the pieces? Or I can take a moment and really get grounded in my peace. Like really doubly, triply grounded in my peace. So that I can actually bring peace to that moment. Because peace is not just what we speak or what we do. It's the energy we give off. You can't bring peace to a situation just through words. You've got to have the energy that carries the words. And so I choose peace every minute, every moment. Oh, that didn't happen. Okay, let's make it happen. But no, I'm not going to lose my peace over it. That mistake happened. All right, shouldn't have happened. Let's prevent it from happening again. But I'm not going to lose my peace over it. That's already happened. That mistake has already happened. This mistake has already happened. Why take my peace and sacrifice it on the altar of mistakes that have already happened? There's no point. So you choose peace every minute of every day. Someone's throwing pieces at you, throwing anger at you, throwing jealousy at you, throwing competition at you, throwing their own pieces at you. And this happens. It happens in families. It happens in workplaces. It happens in communities. It happens sometimes with strangers in a grocery store or on the freeway. We call it road rage, right? I didn't do anything to that guy. But now he's swearing, flipping you off, shooting you. But we have a choice. We can choose peace. There's no situation outside that absolutely necessitates us throwing away our peace. And so we hold it. And for me, when grace gave it to me, it became the most precious thing I have. And I'm not gonna give it up for anything. Not a missed flight, not something that didn't work right, not someone else who's in pieces, who's kind of vomiting their pieces all over me. I'm not going to lose my peace about it. I'm going to become even more peace so that I can share that with others. And that's the same teaching for you when you ask, how do I find my peace? Every time you are about to lose your peace, ask yourself, do I have an alternative? And as I always say, you always have an alternative. In every minute. I don't know if the asker of this question is here, and whether they feel comfortable, if they are here, raising their hand saying, yes, I'm the one who asked that question. Okay, no. Either not here or not comfortable, that's fine. We all have to ask ourselves, what is it that makes me lose my peace? And if you really look within, what you'll think is, for all of us, the first things that make us lose our peace that come to our mind inevitably is going to be the face of one or two people. Could be a family member, could be a boss, could be an employee, could be a colleague, could be the guy next door, could be whoever it is. Or some situation, oh, the traffic. But something's going to pop up in our mind. If I say to you, close your eyes and think about what makes you not peaceful. Could be the numbers on your scale, could be the numbers in your bank account. Whatever it is, something's going to pop up into your mind. Now ask yourself, whatever it is, whether it's an annoying person, whether it's a number that you don't like, is you losing your peace going to help it? Is you losing your peace going to change that person? Is you losing your peace going to make those numbers be any different, or the traffic going to clear away? Of course not. Your peace is all you've got left. Other people are going to do what they're going to do. Be who they are. Vomit up their pieces on you. Traffic is going to do what it does. But our peace is up to us. And so when you make it a priority, there's a beautiful story of a disciple who goes to his guru and he says, I'm not finding God. I'm not experiencing God. I'm doing my practice. I'm doing what you tell me to do, but I'm just not experiencing God, and I really want to experience God. Now the guru's been watching him. He's watching, he gets distracted, he's watching, he's running after, this lady or those cookies or this problem or whatever it is. I mean, the guru's been watching him in the ashram, and he sees how frequently he's getting distracted. So the guru says, come with me. Takes him down to the river, takes him into the river, and he holds his head underwater. Now the guy's first okay for the first few seconds. He thinks some blessing I'm getting. But then he realizes, my God, my guru is actually going to drown me. Like, he's really holding my head under the water. And now the guy is thrashing around, pushing against the guru's hand, but the guru keeps holding his head under the water. At the last minute, before the guy literally passes out due to lack of oxygen, the guru pulls up his hand, and the man comes up out of the water, and he's... I mean, imagine, right? Like you were just drowning in the water. And the guru says to him, so was your mind wandering? The guy's like, what do you mean was my mind wandering? Of course my mind wasn't wandering. And the guru says, so what were you thinking about? He says, I was thinking about oxygen. I was thinking about taking a breath. The guru says, were you thinking about the cookies or the ladies or what was for dinner or this? The guy's like, of course not. I was thinking about breathing. I thought I was going to die. So the guru says, when you want God like you wanted oxygen, only then does it happen. You need to want God like you wanted oxygen. Then it'll happen. So, in the same way, we need to want peace. I mean, ultimately, want God. Choose God, because with the package of God, everything comes. Peace is there, joy is there, awakening is there. But we're not all necessarily there yet in our lives. I have a lot of people who say, I'm not quite there with the whole God thing. I just really want a peaceful, nice life, a joyful life. Okay. That's all right. You can't hurt God's feelings. Don't worry about it. God is there in your peace. God is there in your joy. God is there in your love. But you have to want peace like that. If everything that happens distracts you from peace, you're not going to be in peace. If every random thing someone says or does, or every fluctuation of the stock market or your scale or the traffic pulls you out of your peace, you'll never find it. Imagine yourself as the guy underwater and want peace like you want air if you're drowning. Totally irrelevant what this one said or that one said or this one did or that one did. I need air. And just keep reminding yourself, I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace. Before taking another of the questions that came in advance, I'm happy to take any questions that are here, if there are any. Yes.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Namaskar.
I have a question that there is a model, it is a bit long.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I have been troubled with this question for many years.
Okay.
So there is a mortal soul.
There is a?
There is a mortal soul.
Okay.
Atma.
Yes.
Somehow it got trapped into samsara.
Okay.
and then we are doing all these practices, satsang, sadhana, karma yoga, dhyan yoga, everything
Okay.
to get rid of sansar or ahankar.
Okay. Yes.
And then
For those of you not getting all of the Sanskrit, don't worry. The Atma and Sansar and Samskaras, yeah, I'll translate all that. Yes.
So there is one perfect soul somehow got trapped into sansar, into cycle of ego.
I'm getting it. Yes.
And then
Our soul gets trapped in this cycle of birth and death. Yes. Okay.
somehow got illusion of ahankar.
Okay.
And then by doing all these sadhana and all reading all philosophies and repeating that day and night, someone gets salvation. at
Okay.
point, within body or after body.
Okay.
So how these two statements are logically incongruent.
Which two statements?
One is getting salvation and will not be trapped again.
Okay.
Now
That's
this
statement
pure,
one.
pure
What?
Atma.
Okay.
And initially there was a pure Atma and it got trapped into samsara.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So these two are logically incongruent.
Okay.
How immortal Atma got into samsara?
Got it. Okay. Okay. Done. So the question is, let's forget about the two statements. Let's just look at the problem in general that you've posed. So as you've said, I'm just going to summarize the question, the problem, and then I'll come to it. An immortal soul, Atma, gets trapped, as you say, in samsara, this world of illusion, this cycle of birth and death, gets trapped, as you said, in the body, in the illusion. Then we do these practices for salvation. Okay.
And then it will not be trapped.
And then it won't be trapped again. Okay, so how does that happen?
So these two states are logically incongruent.
Okay. So first of all, it's not the soul that is trapped. That's a very important thing to realize. The soul isn't trapped. Even right now today, my soul is one with all. When we meditate, when we pray, when we are in love, when we are connected to the divine.
One more extension.
Well, let's do this first, and then if you still have a problem after, we'll come back to it.
One more.
Okay, yes.
When we say we meditate, that means ahankar is meditating, Atma is not meditating.
Okay.
Atma is untouched, but how
Okay.
this illusion of ahankar starts?
Okay. So how does the illusion of ego start? As he said, the ego is meditating, the soul is not meditating. Actually, the mind is meditating. When I say we, I mean all of us here. If you say who's meditating, well, my body is sitting in this posture. For the sake of this discussion, to keep it relatively short, I'm going to use the word body to refer also to the brain, because the brain is also physical. So just as I have a finger, so I have brain cells. They're physical, you can touch them. They sit there in my skull. The brain works chemically and electrically. Change the chemistry, you change my thoughts. Change the electricity, you change my thoughts. So I'm going to not get into the mind-brain differential here for a moment. Let's just talk. The physical self, which includes my legs and my arms, it also includes my brain. Okay? So who is meditating? My physical self is meditating. The body is sitting. The brain is chanting my mantra, or the brain is focusing its attention, its awareness on my breath. That's who's meditating. As I do that, I touch, as I quiet the electricity in the brain, as I quiet the chemistry in the brain, what happens is the thinking mind, which works based on separation, which is where the ego is housed, you can say. The ego is housed in my thinking mind. It's my mind that thinks. It's the mind that has been programmed to understand who I am, this ego, this illusion. As I meditate, as my physical body meditates, my ego is not meditating, my soul is not meditating, my physical body is meditating. My brain is chanting my mantra, my brain is watching my breath. As the brain's chemistry and electricity changes, the thinking mind stops playing its games. I'm able to have a glimpse. The witness self is able to have a glimpse. The intangible aspect of me is able to have a glimpse of that which is not my physical body. Otherwise, I identify as my thoughts. I identify as my ego. My ego says, I'm great. My ego says I'm horrible. My ego says I'm a doctor. My ego says I'm a sannyasi. My ego says I'm a female. My ego says I'm whatever it is, I identify as that. But as my thoughts stop, as my thoughts slow down, as there starts to be a space between my thoughts, suddenly I, the witness, Sakshi, that witness experience, catches a glimpse of the me who's not my physical body, who's not either this physical body or the chemistry of my brain, not my thoughts, not my emotions, because here I'm not having a thought and I'm still existing. And in that moment, in that spaciousness, we have an experience of the truth of who we are, which is Atma, which is soul. In those moments, I have an experience of soul. Now, is the witness also housed somewhere in the physical brain? It actually is, interestingly. Meaning, I need the physical brain to be able to be conscious. Consciousness is not chemical or electrical or literally living in my brain, but the brain is the medium through which I understand it. And the reason that I know that is, if you're meditating, but I inject you with a certain drug, I can prevent you from having that consciousness, or I can give it to you. We know that chemistry, electricity can change our experience of the self. So the brain is the medium through which I understand consciousness, through which I experience consciousness. It isn't the soul, it isn't my consciousness, but it's the medium through which I understand it. Like, how do I understand you? I have 5 senses. I can see you. If I can't use my eyes, but you speak, I can hear you. But if I cannot see you, hear you, taste you, touch you, feel you, I have no way of knowing you exist. I have no way of interacting with you. Now you still exist, but I'm not able to be aware. It's not evident to me that you exist. In the same way, soul is here, spirit is here, consciousness is here. But if I'm not able to use my brain, if I'm brain dead, or my chemistry or my electricity is adjusted or changed in certain ways, I'm not able to interact with soul, spirit, consciousness. The same way that my 5 senses help me interact with you and know that you are here. They are the medium through which I understand that you exist. in the same way, the brain, although it isn't the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, any more than my eyes are you, it is the medium through which I am able to interact with, to experience that true soul, that true self. Okay, so we meditate. In that moment of meditation, I catch a glimpse of the truth of who I am. Now, when you speak about it being trapped, as I said, it isn't trapped. The only thing that is trapped is my mind. My mind is trapped in its patterns that say, I am my body, I am my bank account, I am my career, I am my history, I am my personality, I am this identity. That's the trap. The soul is not trapped. But then you talk about samsara, okay, this cycle of birth and death. So what frees us of that? It's not that when I become saved, salvation means saved. We don't need to be saved. I'm not unsaved. What I am is unfree. This is why we talk about liberation, not salvation. Sanatan Dharma does not believe that you need to be saved or salvation, because you're not anywhere that isn't saved. You are pure soul. But your mind is stuck. You need to be liberated. Liberated from what? Liberated from your mind. Liberated from your ego. You, the soul, but the soul with the subtle body, because when you die, when we go from life to life, it's not just the soul that goes, right? Man, buddhi, ahankar. The mind, the intellect, the ego, those things go with the soul. This is why we talk about the need to purify. Purify the mind, purify the intellect, purify the ego. Why? Because you are stuck with them, baby. You've got this body, all right, it'll be over at the end of this life, you'll get another one. But your mind, your intellect, your ego, you are stuck with them until you're free of them. And this is where, in the Gita, Bhagavan Krishna explains it so beautifully when Arjuna says, well, how do I get free then? Right? Whatever karma I do, whatever action I do, it's going to give me a fruit. Some fruit will be sweet, some fruit will be bitter, but either way, I have to keep coming back to eat that fruit. So how do I get free? And this is where Bhagavan Krishna says, the only answer is to realize you're not the doer. You're not the body. You're not the identity. When Arjuna says, I can't kill them all, how can I kill them? And Lord Krishna basically says, and who are you to be the killer? Tum kaun ho? Matlab, really, suddenly you've become the one in charge of who lives and who dies? Really? Get over yourself. That's not you. That's me. I, God, Lord Krishna speaking. I'm the one who decides, not you, Arjuna. You're a tool in my hands. When you realize that, then you will have moksha, then you will have liberation in your body. Then you will not have to keep coming back to learn your lesson. That's why we keep coming back. It's like if in 5th grade you don't learn long division, well, all right, you get to do 5th grade again. Teacher says, sorry, cannot send you to 6th grade if you can't do long division, because they're going to start doing algebra. And for algebra, you need to know how to do long division. So in the same way, we keep coming back life after life. So learn it now. Learn it now. Every minute, you have the possibility to wake up and to be free. Grab that moment. right now.